For me, it's that bubbly Punjabi bubbly girl. And their reference is always Geet from Jab Bhi Main.
So my dad saw the paycheck, right? He was seeing the contract because he understands legalese better than I do. And is that right? Isn't that like, shouldn't there be another zero in this number? It's that less.
I remember shooting this, an intimate scene in New York and doing one in India. And I remember my co-actor here asking, "Are you comfortable? You're okay, na?" At one point, I was like, "I'm fine. You're okay, na?" Like, why are you asking me?
It is not fun जब तुम्हारे co-actor चाय पी कर आता है kissing scene से पहले या फिर उसके initial sweat होता है. It's not fun.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Glamorous about it.
Favorite part is just Sumdi mein just be like, "Do you want a mint?" Oh.
Yeah, but I would like a mint.
Hello and welcome to the Actresses Roundtable 2020. I'm Sita Ratnam and I'm honored to have you talented ladies join me today. Welcome Aparna Balamurali, Manvi Gaglu, Konkana Sen Sharma, Gatika Dugal, Shreya Dharmansi, Preta Tripathi, Sumuki Suresh and Tilokama Show. Let me jump right in, women. Firstly, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to start off with an easy one. When was the last time you were nervous on set?
Last week.
ये तो होता ही रहता है.
I'm always nervous on set.
I'm nervous right now.
I thought you women, you are talented performers, you get great reviews. I thought you guys must be like really chill. Definitely you, Konkana. I thought you go in, you ace the shot and leave. Doesn't it work like that?
No, nothing like that. I got nervous yesterday or day before shooting the promos only.
We were on the same thing.
See, the trailer looks damn
Yeah.
All right. So is that what drives you? Is the nervousness and excitement something that you need to keep alive despite, all the projects that you do, despite the accolade that comes in? Is it something that you think is necessary that keeps you on your toes?
No, not at all. I think it's entirely unnecessary and waste of my energies. And every time I get nervous, I have to remind myself I've done this before. It's okay. Because many times I'm like, will I be able to finish it? Will I be able to complete everything? Will I stop? Will everybody stop and look at me and wait for me? I still face all of this.
I feel like what drives us is that 12-hour shoot. कि 12 hours से ज़्यादा हो गया ना extra पैसा. The crew will stare at us. Like,
actors को कभी
We don't get extra
नहीं मिलता है.
No, not extra paisa for us. Extra paisa for like you have to give the set, but we never get. I completely agree.
So Dani, right?
As long as we're clear about that.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Like, who's doing
Never.
your contracts? Yeah.
No, yeah.
I would pay money to finish it after 12 hours. I would really pay money to do that.
But more than on set nervousness, what makes me really edgy is वो social media के लिए जो कई बार post वो करने होते हैं, stories डालनी होती हैं. I just don't know how to behave, what to do in them. So those are the ones that I'm not fond of. On set, तो nashta is always a good carrot.
For me, it's only the first day.
Huh.
It's only the first day I get nervous. After that, I'm like, yeah, baap ka raja, chalo kar. No, because we are so like, I can speak for everyone when I say that we are so starved for employment. All of us. That once we get it, we're like, okay, the first day
we don't know what
but
to
then
do
I'm
with
like,
this.
right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now let's like work. Let's do the thing that we really want to do.
The nervousness is also when you have to do like PR and things like that, where you have to be very cute and nice, and that is nerve-wracking because sometimes I like being morose. I like being switched off, and that's the part, like the sincere part in me doesn't want to come across as morose to a stranger who has done nothing wrong to me.
Am I the only one who likes the marketing part? I enjoy it.
I don't mind.
I don't mind the promotion either. Yeah.
The marketing. No, but I'm told what to do. They tell me what to do and I do it, then I don't mind. The problem is that often I don't agree with the things. And then I have to come up with my own
During
thing.
promotion, do you go off into dangerous territory during promotions? Do they tell you, please, madam, steer away from controversy? Do you get that brief?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah,
platforms,
always.
From the media houses, from the production houses, everyone's like, don't talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
I constantly
No, but
get
now
told not to be
they
myself.
started adding clauses to contracts where they specifically mention that there are certain things that you have to stay away from during the production and during the promotion of the film. So yeah.
What I find hard about marketing is like Tilly said, you have to be positive about everything.
Yeah.
That's what I find very
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
And there's some things about your own show that you don't like, and that's human, right? And that's any intelligent person who can see the faults of a show. It's not flawless. So can I discuss that in the promotions? No, I have to say only good things about
Not
it
at all.
all the time. I want to be able to say that, listen, hey, this worked and this didn't work, and there's room for improvement here. And I was good in this scene, but maybe I wasn't really up to the mark here. But you can't say that. Everything is beautiful and everything is really, really good.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, correct.
That, aren't you sick of that adjective?
We were all family on set. We were all a family. Just don't forget.
Oh, correct. My next
scam.
question is, please, ma'am, tell us who played
Did you
Cranks.
like promotions or not?
Who?
Aparna, she's
Aparna.
unwell.
No, I get very tired. Promotions are like, you take an extra effort to say the same thing over and over again to different channels. That makes me very tired.
That's the annoying part. Yeah, because they're the same questions, and then you're just trying to find ways to paraphrase it and still make it interesting and enjoyable for yourself and the people listening to it.
Yeah.
I somewhere lose the sincerity of, actually telling how I feel about it. So I'm very uncomfortable.
After a few days, I start feeling like I am incapable of original thought because
But it really depends on who's taking the interview as well. One question which I absolutely hate is, तो अपने character के बारे में बताइए. Oh my God, that's the most lazy question ever. Because where do you
What is
start
the
from?
film about? What is the film about?
What about
थोड़ा
anecdotes?
तो homework कर लो ना अपना.
Tell us stories and anecdotes from the shoot, which was 1 year ago.
But guys, I have to say, all the actors always say it was a family. Nobody ever didn't like their co-actors. It was a family. We were sharing food. It was family. It was like, I'm missing. We have a WhatsApp group. Oh, they just texted me. So the other side is also true, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's like one of those scenes, right? When you're saying, it was, we all had such fun, and in the background, in your head, you're thinking of the dark moments. Hey, kya bola? And you're just revisiting all the things that happened on set, but you're saying, it was.
The thing is, we were an actual family. You know how families don't get along. So we were an actual family during Diwali. That's what we were.
really dysfunctional. But after a while, I start believing it. Like I forget what actually happened. After I sound positive about it for 300 times, then I start believing that that's what happened.
What is the reality?
Yeah, that is the foundation of my relationship with Rasika. We told each other so many times, and then it's a genuine friendship. But there are, you come out of these processes, and then you actually in all that, you actually find real gems. You start believing it's family, and then with some people, they do become family.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
But
there's
then,
some good things.
But then, those WhatsApp groups, then, you don't know when to exit and delete.
I exit with a personal issue, feeling overwhelmed, shortness of breath.
Shortness of breath,
Shortness of breath, something specific, something vague. Feeling overwhelmed. Nobody questions it, can't talk. Please don't call.
Doing social media detox. Ma'am, WhatsApp is not social media, but detoxing anyway. Sorry, bye. It's true. Oh, I do the whole thing of I create the WhatsApp group and then I say that, hey guys, the moment it's done, we all can leave. So then there is a 5-minute hovering period where I'm like, everybody can leave and cut like that. They go,
Hey, but Aparna, I wanted to ask you, there isn't that much of a marketing frenzy or promotion down south, right? I mean, is that right?
Yeah, not as much. It's there in the north, like in Bollywood. Here, it's more like, we'll have one full day with a lot of channels and we'll have all these interviews in one go. So it's quite tiring. That whole day you have to sit and talk about the movie to different channels, same questions, everything. And that's it. Then it's like 1 or 2 channels after that. If you come, that's it. Only that part will be there. Otherwise,
So one day. One day. Yeah.
But you know, South marketing is very intense. Like I did a Kannada movie, and then they said that pehle hero ko bulao. They said call the glamour, and then I came. They're like, oh, glamour is not there now. You come, ma'am. You come. We'll talk to you. I was like, oh my god, you guys, that's hurtful.
It is glamour in South. No,
So
they call-
we say glamour.
So they called the heroine of the movie Glamour. And this was a humble politician Nagaraj. So when I came in, they're like, oh, madam, Glamour illa. No problem, madam. You bunny. No problem. You come. I'm like,
Oh my god.
Okay, you know, the film industry has this way of putting you in your own lane and typecasting you. So are you all approached with that one kind of role, you know, that one specific kind of role that you're approached with? And what is the kind of role that, yes, Shreya?
To be honest, to be typecast, you have to get roles, which I haven't got many. I want to have this problem. So this is something I look forward to.
For me, it's that Punjabi bubbly girl. And their reference is always Geet from Jab We Met, and I'm like, yeah, at least give me something different. Now, like, or let me try something different. But they wanted that one kind only, and that's why it becomes a problem. Otherwise, there's no one character that really can become annoying even for you to continuously be playing. Till the problem is that they want the same thing. You know, I mean, even within the same character description, you can play it in many different ways, but nobody wants that. They want you, they're like, ye वैसे जैसे किया था, yeah, you know how, again, like coming back to Geet from Jab We Met, they'll get I've actually tested for films or shows where they've given me Geet's lines, like, and suddenly I'm reading them and I'm like, these sound very familiar, like, and then the article from Jab We Met, and they're like, yeah, you know, our script is still developing, so we just this is the character, and I was like, oh. So yeah, that's for me. That's, like there's a little bit of a part of my heart dies every time I see that this is the character description. So I'm like, okay.
I mean, they don't even care to test you for the project they want you for. I mean, look at the heights of it's unbelievable.
I get fat best friend always as a rule. आप फनी है मैम, आप क्वर्की हैं और आपको बहुत, या तो मैं बहुत सेक्स करती हूँ या मैं बिल्कुल सेक्स नहीं करती. So I'm either the fat girl with a great sex life or like, oh my god, मैंने तो सेक्स देखा ही नहीं है, लड़के क्या होते हैं, it's very bad. And I'm mostly running in everything. Where one of the things that I'm like, छोड़ दो मुझे, छोड़ दो. I'm like, what? No. It's very weird.
No, I always get that very earnest, sincere, morally upright person. I'm really not in real life, but I radiate integrity, it seems. So I get a lot of that, and I just want to, which is why I was so relieved with Dolly Kitty, because, you know, she was often just making bad decisions, you know, which we all do from time to time. And yeah, that was such a relief. Otherwise, I'm just always morally irreproachable.
And Tillotama, you know, any particular role they come to you with?
See, it started with The Maid, okay? And so when 10 years later, I got Sir, and that was also Maid, I really had to ask myself, are you ready for cleaning up for another decade of your life, you know? The innocent, you know, rural, from an economically disadvantaged group, extremely intense, veering towards tragedy, and yet tremendous inner strength.
Oh God.
You know, the common man, the everyman, you know, very Brechtian. So it's lovely because, you know, I fit in quite well to start with in that milieu, but after you get many such things like that, but you start feeling a bit like you're appropriating, you know. And you kind of start feeling very uncomfortable because I come from a lot of privilege, and so then you start kind of feeling a bit resentful that for the lack of imagination the people have who offer you just these parts. And then besides that, I started feeling like I'm making money out of playing people who are really poor. You know, it got really uncomfortable. Then 1-2 films I did where the character was so poor, man. Like it was painful shooting for it and knowing that I'm going to go back to a really comfortable bed, it kind of messes with your head after 20 years, you know. You start kind of questioning that I've had enough. I've had enough of, you know, for a while. And I think just mentally just started feeling I need a break. And it was very shallow, but I actually wanted to play someone who was rich. That's it. Can you imagine an actor having such superficial wishes that what's the guy, is she rich or not? And I really have to thank Hani Trehan, because thanks to Coco's film, you know, we got to meet. And I told Hani that I'm done. Like I told him this sad story about playing these sad characters. And so then he called me for Hindi medium, where I got to play someone rich and wear like modern clothes. And I think that started confusing people. And because I played a man, that confused people even more. Now I don't get stereotyped. Now I play parts that are confusing, which is a better place to be. You know?
I can totally relate to what Tilotoma said, because these are because they say the first thing they come up with is that you're a very bold, your character is a very bold female who, you know, and this bold character will always have a very tragic background, and I don't know why. I've always thought about that. I really don't know why a bold character. Of course, we have seen people who have come out of a lot of struggles and all. But whenever I'm offered a character in movie, bold means to have a tragic background or nothing else. Like, you know, you come from nothing, nowhere. I mean, not even that. You won't have parents. You won't have a home. Or else you'll be kicked out of your house. You know, all these things. I've played all these characters. So, you know, I've always said why bold characters should always have a background like that while coming to movies. Like how Tilotoma said, I got to play a, you know, character where I have a really good home, a good boyfriend, my clothes are very nice, and I'm like, oh, finally I'm rich, I'm inside a bungalow.
A not so bold character.
Yeah, it's still a very good character, still a very nice character. And I'm like, oh, finally I've reached here. I have good clothes. I have a good, you know, handsome boyfriend. I have a bungalow, and I have a full family behind me.
It's such a statement for the kind of characters that are being written for women. Like, it's that if you're waiting for so long for that one role to come through,
because most of them are being written by men.
Although bold in Bollywood means just sexy.
Sexual.
Like,
So, actually, my answer is very similar to Konkana's, and I actually copied her answer in several interviews because I couldn't find a way to articulate what I was thinking. I heard Coco say this in one interview where she said, you know, I get all these morally upright characters. I was like, yeah, that's what I've been trying to say all this time. But yeah, I also always used to get morally upright characters till Mirzapur happened, and I'm so grateful for that. Now I get the bold one as well. So that's interesting. But I think if there's any crying scene in the entire show or the film, it comes to me. That scene is mine. I have all the crying scenes in any film and any show. So I sometimes read the script backwards. I turn it around. Usually the crying scenes are at the end of the script. Huh? I turn it backwards and I open and I say, एक है कि दो है कि तीन है, कितने crying scenes है, ये मैं देख लूँ पहले.
You know, we were just talking about how men are writing these characters. You know, there's so much talk of women getting their due, that their stories are being heard. Is it better when women take the reins of these stories as opposed to men telling the story of women? I want to pose this question to Sumukhi, who's created her show, Wax and It, who's taken the reins. Tell me, Sumukhi. And you have Debbie as well as a director.
Yeah. No, my primary reason, the reason I wrote my own show was because nobody was giving me a lead. Everyone was just giving me a best friend. I'm like, kitna wait karne ka hai? I'm in my late 20s. I don't have the energy to play a college kid. So fatafat karo khatam. So it came from a very need to be the lead of and also be like, okay, I know it's also came down to how do you look? You don't look like a lead. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
We all look like how everybody looks in India. We can't, it's very weird to say that as a sentence. So one, that was my need. But eventually I learned that it is true that you need in a writer's room, if you have female characters in your show, you need women in a writer's room. You can't have only men because men, not for their own fault. Most of them, some of them, I'm not saying that, but some of them also put women in boxes. Like she's the mother, she's the maid, she's the wife, she's the girlfriend. Ho gaya, khatam, likh diya humne. I'm like, arey, aur bhi karti hai wo. And also women aren't 1 + 1 2. We have multiple emotions going on in our head. I have realized that if you don't have women in your writer's room, actually any gender, I'm not even talking about only women, it moves on to any and every. If your writer's room is not going to be inclusive, you're just going to have same characters again and again, and people waiting for 10 years to get a good role. Like,
yeah, I mean, while I obviously completely agree that there needs, in the writer's room, you need just for so that you're able to flesh out the characters better, you just need a perspective from all genders or all whatever representation. But I do feel I'm not such a big fan of only women telling women stories, because I have actually worked with some incredible male directors who have had the insight and and they've given a body to the female character. I mean, it's not just glamour, as Sumukhi was talking about. Like, the female character isn't just glamour, you know what I'm saying, or it's not unidimensional or whatever. Like, there's with women telling women stories, there's of course there's the understanding, there's of those emotions, but there's also the female gaze, which is, I think it's more about the gaze which needs to shift, because this putting in boxes thing, it's not just a male thing, it's even a female thing. For example, I mean, like you just said that I'm in my late 20s and I don't know how much time I have to continue playing the lead or want to play the lead. That's in your head. I mean,
it's true, but to be fair, Manvi, like,
coming from outside.
Yeah, but if you ask me, like, 3 years later, now I agree. My gaze has changed, where I'm like, oh, I can do this on my own. But 3 years before, with the way characters are offered,
it's more than what gender we identify with. It's about the conditioning, right, or the thought process that we are bringing in. I think it and that's something that we need to constantly try and break.
No. I think what Sumukhi was alluding to, correct me if I'm wrong, Sumukhi, this is not to say that there aren't men who...
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant.
To say that there are...
I know, and I completely agree with everything. That's what I'm saying. Just to add to that, that it's not... I mean, it's just, I feel that there's so much of that happening now. I mean, we need good stories. We need good stuff to watch. We need great content. And
do you think we are good at farm? Do you think now women are, telling their stories? We have Alankrita Srivastava, who did Dolly Kitty. Your own show, 4 more shots directed by Anu Menon, Nupur Asthana, Sudha Kongara, who directed Chule Potra. Of course, we have Sumukhi as well.
Shilpa, no. Not even a little bit. Because you can count the number of women and the stories and the creators. If we start counting men, it will take the whole day.
Yeah, there's still a long way.
Konkana is an actor-director, so I want to bring her in on this. The female gaze. Konkana, you tell us. What do you feel about it?
I find that this lack of imagination affects people across gender, because there are many women proponents of a patriarchal mindset, and there are a handful of men who may be more woke and open-minded. So it's the kind of thinking that you have to escape, and even if you manage to escape that thinking in your writing, when you're actually going to get money, one of the problems that I faced is, number one, you have to have your budget is not decided according to your locations or factors of production, but your budget is determined by how well known your actors are. I mean, or stars, whatever.
The names attached to it.
Yeah. So, and even in independent films, this afflicts independent cinema as well, because even in independent films there are these hierarchies, that so-and-so is a little better known, so-and-so is not so well known. So I really face that problem. And you can't determine budgets according to that, you have to see the script. You make a budget as per your script. Once your scenes are down, what are your requirements, etc. So that is a huge problem. I have come across some men who are, more open-minded, or can really are empathetic, or can enter the mind of a woman. I have met women who also make very regressive films sometimes, and they may have their reasons. They may have commercial reasons or otherwise, So this is something which is a kind of thinking that we have to overcome. We have this unspoken code, that oh, this is what we are allowed. This is how we're allowed to depict women. Like they have to, they can say this much, they can kiss this much, they can do. I mean, I think some of these are being broken in Mirzapur and Dolly Kitty, etc., and some others which I have not seen. But by and large, this is very pervasive. Like this is how we're allowed to, and it's an unspoken thing. We already, everybody already knows this,
Yeah.
So that's why it's such a relief when you see women, sometimes just behaving badly or taking bad decisions. And my God, if you're a mother, firstly, there are no rules for mothers. If you're a mother, then you're holy. Then you can never be a bad mother.
But is the virginal mold being broken now? A woman who is smoking, who's drinking, who has sexual desire, she's not being shown as a cautionary tale anymore, or is she at the end of the day?
I think it needs to change in the society as well. For example, कि अभी भी हम स्मोकिंग या दारू को बोलते हैं, अरे वो उसकी ना कोई गंदी आदत नहीं है, तो why is that a गंदी आदत? So I think the problem is way more, मतलब पहले हमें literally खुद को change करना पड़ेगा. If you want to change that, see that change on screen, and thankfully, thanks to OTT, I think our characters are not dry cleaned anymore. आपके जो protagonists भी हैं, like Munna and Guddu, they are so wrong in Mirzapur. They are not the characters that you learn a lot from. They are flawed, but you accept them. I think that is one thing good about OTT, is that you're just accepting characters and people for who they are, or Beena for having her own desires. Matlab, even in Masaan, and that's what I feel grateful about. That yes, we need more women creators, musicians, everybody, but I think even women have to step up.
As for me, Sudha Khan is the only female director, if you want to put it that way, the only person I've worked with. Others, everybody, male directors, I've got really good characters. As in, what excited me the most was, see, there are two types of things going on. Either you should have a female-centric, or people call it like female-centric movie, or the female person is the only one projected in the movie. But otherwise, I've always had this feeling, why cannot a female character be written as good as, something which I've got in Surare Potra is something like that. Female characters can be written beautifully in any movie. You need not have a female-centric movie for that. So that has always, I've always had that question. But the movies I've got, the one which I got a break was with Fahad Fasil, Maheshindra Pradhigaram, and my character was equally questioning the opposite character, or my character didn't have limitations saying this, it's a female character, you should only do so much. I'm actually, grateful for that platform, because whatever we've seen, I've never seen that in my movies, or at least few of my movies. All those movies have given me a great platform with every other character. So Maheshindra Pradhigaram and Surare Potra was another one. And Surare Potra, there's another, main thing is that Surya sir's, that fan base is something else. He's a superstar. And with that, to match a character to place a character like mine, I'm definitely sure my director must have faced a lot of questions while, scripting it. I feel so, because she has taken a lot of adamant steps to, make this thing happen. And my character, the fights are equal fights. No, we both say awful things to each other. It's not like I'm scared of him. When he shouts at me, I shut up. There's nothing like that. He shouts at me, I scream back at him, and then we fight. All the scenes have been written that way. So I think that was one, that point where a stereotype is broken. So I think she has faced a lot of challenge in that case, especially when the opposite star is one like Surya sir. So I think that was one huge change which I felt especially in the Tamil industry.
Female desire, is it being explored enough now? And do you think there is something that is being unexplored when it comes to women?
Lot of things, no? I mean, I think we barely scratched the surface, and I'm not speaking about that in terms of just the lens of the gender. I think even in terms of characters that we write for any of our any of our stories, I think they could really use with like getting fleshed out and having a reason why they do things, having more truth to them. I don't think we're still there where we can write as well as and give justice and weight to the characters that we're writing, regardless of the spectrum that they are on. You know, I think that we have a long way to go.
But I'm sure there is also an audience which would be ready to, it need not be desired, need not be a 0 or 100. Ya to full virgin, ya to, oh my God, crazy sex. Beach ka bhi, and this is what regular people are. We're not a 0 or 100. Sex or desire it goes up and down as a rule. Like that's how desire works. So are we ready? It's also, that's not been explored on a writing level as well yet.
Our references are so poor that we're still sort of finding our rhythm with exploring female desire or male desire. Like Tilly said, I caught that bit of the conversation. So, and I think that it's all very well-meaning. At least some of the projects that I've been a part of, on paper, they're all very well-meaning and wanting to really sort of exploring female desire in a nuanced way. But there's a long journey between the written word and the visual. And I think our references are so sexualized that we find it hard, whether man or woman, find it very hard to break away from that. So I think we're sort of dealing with that at this stage.
Manvi, Fomo Shots explored female desire like almost never before on the OTT platform. And your character, especially, how she comes into her own and how she owns her sexuality. Tell me more about that.
It's exactly that. I mean, so yeah, she is someone who we see her kind of find her own sexuality and then explore it and then struggle with it or enjoy it or celebrate it. So I personally, I feel in general, like I think we've all said this and I'm just going to repeat it, that in general, we haven't really and it's fine, I guess, because it's only now that OTT has come in that we've kind of started exploring sex as even an aspect of human existence. And so even as makers, you'll take time. I think we'll have to get used to shooting sex scenes. We'll have to, as viewers, we have to get used to watching sex scenes, and we have to and we have to disassociate the idea of titillation from a sex scene as part of the story. So I think all of that combined, hopefully we're getting better. I also think, like with everything else, it has a very high potential of getting corrupted, that, people will only put sex scenes for the sake of it, for the sake of boldness and all of that. But an honest creator would try and be sincere to the story and only put scenes when required and shoot them in a way. I don't know, there's this, I was watching, have you guys watched this show called Easy on Netflix?
Yeah, I've got a few episodes. Yeah,
I thought the way they portrayed sex is fucking fantastic. Like, it's so good because it's not done for the purpose of arousing anything in the viewer. It is so true to the story. You don't even see it as a sex scene. It's a story about two people who are having sex or not having sex or whatever. I mean, we just, like, as a society, we make such a big deal out of sex, and like I said, it's only now that we started portraying it on screen. So we're kind of finding our footing. I think it'll get better. We'll everything, like from both sides, whether you're a creator or an audience, we'll find some ground. That's the hope.
No, I remember shooting this, an intimate scene in New York and doing one in India. And I remember my co-actor here asking, "Are you comfortable? You're okay, na?" And at one point, I was like, "I'm fine. You're okay, na? Like, why are you asking me?" Like there was also, in a way, I think, like what Manvi was saying, it's us as, like, also filmmakers, but also us as actors. It's also about creating an environment. Like, I remember in Kissa, like, I was naked, like, and the focus puller had to get the focus of my chest, and my breasts are hanging. It was just so clinical and yet so respectful. So it's about how you create an environment where an actor who is putting themselves out in a way which is vulnerable, and that doesn't always mean naked, it could be something else, feel safe. And I think that is something that we have to develop, and it's not about blaming anybody. But I remember doing one in New York, and this was this Korean actor who's clearly done this many, many times, unlike me. Between takes, he would just turn around and fall off to sleep or pretend to. And I was like, there was no small talk about are you comfortable? You're okay now, like which I'm used to, being very like, आप हमारे घर आए हैं, ठीक तो है, कुछ चाहिए कि नहीं, ये scene थोड़ा मुश्किल है, none of that. It was very professional. You're a professional, I'm a professional. We have to do this scene. I don't want to do any small talk in between. Between takes, he would just, and we are under a blanket, naked, and just between. And it was also yet another way for me to learn that, we make a big deal of it sometimes and create a sense of, oh, now something is really going to happen.
Something big is going to happen,
Yeah, something huge, something really, well, and that philosophy, if it's there with the director, it trickles down to the actors, the cast, the crew, and then everyone kind of shares that philosophy, and then you can make a film. It may not be a great film. It's not about a great film. It's just about a great experience where, where you feel safe and you don't feel like you did something. You have to think twice. Oh, isme bold scene hai, karu ki nahi? Who's the maker? Yaar, I don't know how they'll treat it. That's the fear, right? You don't know how. It's not about feeling shy.
It's how it's gonna come out. Like what is the end product gonna look like?
What it's going to look like, and what's the experience of shooting on set? Like, are you going to be made to feel like, oh, aaj wo wala scene hai, everyone's whispering.
Everybody,
But it was like, whereas somewhere else it would just be like, listen, how many cock socks are there? Because, we are doing the sex scene and both the actors are butt naked, and now they'll be all about COVID testing, So the world is changing, right? But I mean, those things become more technical, I guess. And then the language changes around, I think, shooting it.
Is it tougher when there are some 300 extras on the set and they're all, and you have a scene to do? Or is it better if it's a closed set? Or does it mean that, what do you mean about an environment? Do you prefer like fewer people and, a more clinical approach to it? Or do you want a more empathetic approach to it? What works?
You want respect from everybody who's on set. I think the number of people, it doesn't matter. But everybody needs to understand what you're doing and why you're doing that. This is all as a part of the scene. Like, for example, even in Mirzapur, when I got to know, in fact, that introduction scene of mine, so mujhe to laga tha, great, I don't have a scene with anybody else. This is easy. But it became such a big deal. And what really pissed me off was because I didn't think it was a big or bold scene. But when we started our promotions, every journalist, तो मेल तो पूछ ही रहे थे कि आपका एक वो सीन है, and then there were these like 5-6 women journalists who came and they started giggling, and I really lost it. I'm like, why are you making this a big deal? Tomorrow I'm doing what I do because I love doing that. I don't want my family to think कि बेटा पर ये scene क्यों किया, क्योंकि वो है ही नहीं, and they don't think like that. So please don't make a big issue, a big deal out of something which is basic, and that scene was so boring. There was nothing. It's as simple as, having coffee. So I think, again, the focus, and there was a list of women who masturbated on screen. And I was like, ye kyun kar rahe ho yaar? Thodi to respect de do. There's a lot that goes on physically and emotionally. So I think actors deserve more respect. So I think wherever it might be 300 people or it might be just like 3 people, it is how your director makes you feel, how even like the sound recordist or the focus pillar. It is everybody. We are working here. It is not fun. जब तुम्हारे co-actor चाय पी कर आता है किसी scene से पहले या फिर उसके little sweat होता है, it's not fun.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
Glamorous about it.
Favorite part is just Sumdi may just be like, do you want a mint? Oh, the communication of that one action is intense. Very true.
Yeah, but I would like a mint.
Like you have a mint. The other thing is that this sex, gender, I just had some random thoughts which I'll share. One is that as Tilly was saying, this notion, we don't depict reality. I think in our thinking, which trickles down to us from culture, whether it's music or books or art or cinema, whatever it is, there's a huge discrepancy between lived experience and between what is depicted culturally. Whether it's romance, men or women. Like men always want sex. Aisa nahi hai. Person. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then that women never want sex and they are only receptacles. Aisa bhi nahi hai. Romance kya hai? Acha, he said like this. Now I am supposed to feel like this. I'm not actually feeling it. What's happening? Why is there this, dissonance between these two things? So these are things which it's great when, a few people here and there make an attempt to bridge that so that one can communicate an authentic experience, which doesn't always happen because you're always falling back on, tropes and stereotypes, then there's no authenticity, there's no specificity. That's one thing I want to say. And the other thing is, just generally speaking about sex scenes, I guess, is that there are many different kinds of sex. It's not always about desire. Sometimes it could be, boring.
Yeah.
It could be to move the plot forward. So it needn't necessarily be titillating, or if you're trying to show it from the character's point of view and it is arousing, you may want the audience to feel like, hey, it's forbidden. Ways, like sex can be 100 things. So like, again, you need that imagination to, portray that kind of stuff.
There's still a lot of discomfort definitely around exploring female desire, but also around just watching women having fun. That's something that we don't seem to be able to do, or it is not very acceptable to audiences either. And that kind of scares me a little bit, because I'm like, oh my God, are we still living in such a patriarchal society?
We are.
But just to be reminded of that every time is kind of scary. So that's, I think, what I was saying. I've heard that there is the concept of intimacy directors which exists in other countries.
Yes.
And I have not seen that in India as yet. Have any of you?
No. We are getting them now, because there was an ED, there is an ED who messaged saying that now she has studied it or under supervision, she's learned it. So now that if
because I think that's something that really needs to happen, like choreographers or action directors, you need to have intimacy directors, because it's not something that everybody knows how to handle. And there can be a lot of violation while sort of they're trying to execute that scene on set.
It came in light, especially after the Me Too movement in America. There were actually actors who refused to sign a film unless there were intimacy directors, because sometimes it's the camera angle is such the actor actually doesn't need to do all that. They just need to show a shoulder. But you make an actor go through, male or female, the entire scene, and sometimes it's a power play. So it's really something that so useful to have.
Guys, I want to know, since you touched on the Me Too movement, are the men behaving themselves? Is the atmosphere better now on set? Has it all, has there been a tangible change?
Is there a change? Yes, there is a change. Is it enough? No. So, but there is a positive change, and I think all of us are responsible for that just making sure that, again, it's just not men. Even we have to be equally supportive of other women, male or females. Everybody, just all human beings. So it's happening, but definitely more is required and needed.
There is a certain amount of fear, like at least I noticed this. It was an education for me as well, like from the time to season 1 to season 2, all the actors, when they were like, okay, contractually we have to do, I'm like, 1 minute, what is up with you? Are you okay? And I asked all men and women, saying, listen, did you do some kit pit? I don't want my show to be pulled down. So as a creator now, it's my responsibility to be like, you need to declare this, including me, not only like everybody else, so that there is a certain sense of responsibility. I understand there is an emotional the 80% of whatever a person is going through is emotional, but also professionally the men and the women have to be very aware that there is a cause and effect to it. And if something that an action by you is going to cause an entire property to be pulled down, that's a lot. And it's a lot of hard work of a lot of people that we are not seeing. We just see the actors and maybe the directors. We don't see the crew that has worked on it, even though they are very like Per Day or Niklo. So there is a sense of responsibility I have seen, but again, I might be the lucky one who has seen it.
But again, I wish the change was not like fear-based because of consequences of action. I genuinely, because the people who are already paying attention were paying attention, or just needed that sort of a wake-up call. For the people who are maybe just standing quietly, and then they know that silence is a lot more dangerous than one thinks it is. But for everybody else, it's a very fear-based, kya hoga, of getting caught. So I don't know if change truly happens when you're just afraid of getting caught. I don't know. Honestly.
That's not really change. That's not change.
It's change when you're moving the conversation to, now men are scared about how to behave.
Which pisses me off so much. No, I've been in situations, exactly like what Coco said, I've been in situations where guys are like, now we have to watch what we say.
Oh yeah, that happens. That is still happening. Are we including that also? That's definitely happening. I take everything back. Thank you.
I have one question in the meanwhile. I called you all today because you're so successful, you're so talented, right? But at the end of the day, is the money coming in? Because that's important.
Nahi, behan.
No.
Do we look like we have money?
I mean,
Can you
what
not
is
tell
money?
by the background?
Listen, I said I'm getting to play rich characters now. I didn't.
20 years, there's no money.
Yeah.
No man.
Yeah. I often was like, we used to get so angry, you know, when they would offer like something which I thought was 1/10 of the day rate, but that was the rate for 15 days of shoot in the middle of like in 50 degrees in Kutch. The thing is that I grew up on an Air Force officer salary, but it would still annoy me, those offers, you know. And I really fought because I didn't have a manager. So I would really fight, and it would come across as someone who's not a true artist because I'm only fighting about money.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, I've spent the last 1 week reimagining every scene, and now you're talking about the money. If you had told me this, I wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
And the thing is, then you're not a good artist, right? You're so money minded. But if you're self-made, you've come to a city where you have to pay your own rent and gas and electricity. And it was all right, yeah, for me to fashion myself as this person who is really money minded. And I think that I was very ashamed of that aspect, that when I had to say no for something, but I think that really did change because it became, I became an unpopular choice for many producers because they was like, you know, but she'll ask for more. Yeah, and especially if it's a well-known name, you know, it's an affront, right? That, oh, somebody doesn't want to work for less money as opposed to some other actor who can afford to work. I couldn't. So it then becomes really uncomfortable, but I think time is a good, you have to trust yourself. Like I had to tell myself that it's what I need and it's okay if people think like that about me. And I do feel what I get paid now is perhaps, I know it's much lesser than some other people who have better representation and men who have better representation and get paid better, but it's way more than my Air Force, earning father ever got. So like when he hears what I get paid, he's like, it's not right. Are you sure you won't get into trouble? The law, you know, and I'm trying to tell him I'm not paid that much compared. He's like, yeah, I don't think it is right, you know.
I actually have a story that's so funny. So my dad saw the paycheck, right? He was seeing the contract because he understands legalese better than I do. So I give it to him and he's looking at the contract for my first film and is that right? Isn't that like, shouldn't there be another zero in this number? It's that less. So I mean, it's really funny what dad said.
Recently also I just I was surprised that I had the guts to say no to that film because I usually am not a person like that. I'll be like, okay, fine. But they offered me so less. See, again, it's not like we are money-minded people, or we're just doing it for the money. But there's a certain value we expect, no? After doing a few movies, you expect yourself somewhere. And when the person who speaks to you will be like, this is what we're offering, we're like, oh my God, are these people seeing me in like, are they seeing me still, am I still there? That was a question which ran into my mind. I said, listen, I can't do this for this amount. And you know that I've been working in the industry, like, see, not like 15 years or so, but past 5 years, I've done 15, 16 movies. And I am expecting a better pay than that. So I got really, I felt really bad. I had a lot of emotions in my mind. I said, see, I'm not doing it. You can go for another person. It's not that I'm running behind money, but I expect a certain value. You know, I expect a certain value. I expect a certain thing that you would think about me. So I said, I'm not doing it. And there is this problem. Once you ask for, a higher pay, they'll be like, oh my God, that girl asks for higher pay. You give another casting call, and then there are new people who comes just, because they're so much interested in acting, they won't even ask for 50. And people find it so easy. Everybody finds it so easy to, give a small amount and finish it off. And it's sad, casting calls have become an easier way, auditions have become an easier way to pay less, is what I felt. But again, I've come through auditions, so I'm not saying that auditions are bad, but still, when that has become another way to pay less, I feel bad for actors, yeah.
You know about money also, so I do a lot of drama and I love enjoying drama, I mean on screen. And I really enjoy that. So now I was shooting for this one particular scene and I was the action director and उन्होंने बोला कि आप दरवाजा खोलोगे and वो जो goon होगा उसकी knife literally यहाँ पे होगी and your eye is here, and then you run and they give me a long dupatta कि मैं जाती हूँ भागती हूँ, मैं ऐसे दरवाजा बंद करती हूँ तो मेरा दुपट्टा ना वो goon के हाथ में रह जाता है, तो वो goon ऐसे करता है and it's over here and my head bangs against the door and then he's choking me. So after that day, I'm like, you know, I get the kind of money I do, I bloody deserve it because nobody understands actors. मतलब कि ठीक है, चाहे कपड़े अच्छे होंगे या you know वो famous and followers. It's not about that, and it's not. And that guy, he was shooting it, and as soon as that scene got cut, he said one more for his fault, and I could not help, but I was just so angry that इंसान है जो सामने है, and I wasn't worried about कि मुझे respect नहीं दी या तुम ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हो, but I'm like they are also humans and you need to treat us like this, which sadly a lot of people on set do not understand.
You know, now that we have Rasika, I think it's a good time for me to wrap up. Rasika, we were asking everyone about the money. Are you happy with the money you're getting? You're getting enough?
Just say no.
Say no. It doesn't matter what the truth is.
I like that Konkina and Tilly are worried that I'm going to say the truth and they're jumping to my...
Oh, no.
She's saying no, guys.
She's saying no, right?
No. She said no.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. I've gone on for so long.
I also just want to say well done to all of us. Well bloody done.
Yes.